Hi everyone, Dr. Ginger Garner here. Let's practice the umbrella breath. I call it the TATD breath. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that one first on what it is. We're going to practice it together now. I'm going to teach you 4 different ways to do it. Your TATD breath is your power breath. It's what you need to lift. It's what you need to have a little bit more core stability, or you need to create a continence situation where you're not leaking at all. You can cross your legs, you can be sitting up, you can be on the floor, you can be in any position you want. Notice if I belly breathe, I'm going to put my hands on my rib cage first. There's just belly breathing. There's not a whole lot of rib cage expansion here. You can see my belly expand here, right? Try to get an inhale of 3 or 4 and an exhale of 3 or 4. One more time. Inhale. No tension here, no tension and rising in the chest, just belly expansion. Now on your next exhale, I want you to put your fingers here and feel your waist draw in a little. I'll show you here. So my waist drew in a little. It's not super rigid, it's just drawing in a little. I want you to lift and scoop the pelvic floor and then breathe in your rib cage. Open that umbrella. There. Open the umbrella of your rib cage. For some people, it really helps if you do a little bit of ujjayi, so a little bit of a noisy breath. Let's do it on the exhale first. Now let everything go, because you can't hold the pelvic floor and the transversus forever. If you want to do a bottom-up approach, so from down here, I'm going to draw in a little bit by lifting the pelvic floor. So I'm going to lift. It drew my waist in a little bit because the transversus works with it, and then we're back to again. Inhale, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Inhale, 3, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now let everything go. Take a couple of big breaths. When you inhale and you're relaxed, when you inhale, the pelvic floor should go down, 2, 3, 4, and back, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is happening. Now that's a bottom-up approach. What about a top-down approach? A top-down approach is we're going to use a sound. I want you to use the hiss sound for me. So hands on the waist, hiss. Do you feel your abs come on a little? Now inhale, umbrella breathe. Still holding that in, umbrella breathe. Take an inhale, and I want you to hiss. Notice how the hiss carries your breath out longer, and you can get a lift on the pelvic floor. That's just gradual, slight drawing into the transversus, and then you get a nice umbrella breath. Now let it all go again. That was your top-down approach. Now the inside-out approach is imagining the belly button kind of lifting up under your rib cage. So hands on the waist. I lift my belly button under my rib cage a little. You're not flaring the ribs here, but just a tiny scoop. It's not a suck in. It's kind of a scoop up. I feel my pelvic floor lift a little. Umbrella breathe. Inhale while holding that, and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Now let it all go again. Kind of belly dance it out. Again, when you're letting it all go, your inhale is down, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now what about the outside in approach? This is the 4th approach. There's all kinds of cues you can use, in that, but With the outside in approach, one of the cues that I'll use is imagine that your ASIS here, the front of your pelvis, kind of those points drawing together, almost like a corset drawing in on the waist. So if you put your hands on your waist and you imagine those drawing together, you see how my waist will draw in a little? Draws in just a little. You can feel the abdominal muscles tighten. My pelvic floor lifts, and then we umbrella breathe again. Inhale and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale and exhale. 2, 3, 4. And then let it all go again. So you get to decide which cue works best for that umbrella breath. And again, the umbrella breath is when you're tensioning the diaphragm. So when the diaphragm, when you inhale, comes down, you're tensioning it by drawing the transversus in a little and slightly scooping the pelvic floor to kind of engage the whole cylinder. Now your multifidi will come on too. And then with that, pull down and open up of the umbrella, you get the rib cage breath. You get back expansion and nice rib expansion. And you'll find the more that you work on this, the better and clearer your voice will sound. You'll have more vocal power, you'll have more vocal endurance, you'll have less laryngitis type problems and vocal issues. You will have a stronger pelvic floor. If you need to use this to avoid leaking, for example, you would on your exhale engage, use one of those cues. Usually a bottom-up approach works well. Sometimes it's a top-down, sometimes it's inside-out, sometimes it's outside-in. But you pick your best cue, feel free to watch it again. And then just before you sneeze or cough or lift, you'll engage long enough to do the activity. I use it in yoga postures when yoga postures are more difficult or I'm going through a higher risk transition, like in and out of triangle. I use the locks. So what I just described to you as TATD breath, I also call a blending of 3 locks in yoga: Mula Bandha, Ashwini Mudra, and abdominal lock, okay? Uddiyana Bandha. So there are many different ways that you can use TATD breath, but it allows you to lift and do more strenuous activity when you need it. This is not something that you're holding all the time, okay? When you come into pelvic PT, or you're working on the low back, the voice, whatever you're doing with me, if you came in to see me as a pelvic PT, we would work on training that for specific activities. And then the rest of the time, you're just using a nice, at ease abdominal breath. I hope this gets you on your way towards umbrella breathing when you need it and letting it go when you don't. All right.